option zero deposit gives us is that it's all about access to renting. So whereas we have tenants who still meet our affordability criteria for rent and are still referenced in exactly the same way, it just means that they don't have to then have this initial upfront payment, which even if they have good salaries and good criteria, they just may not have that money in the bank. It's early days for us in using zero deposit, but we've found since we've launched and started using the marketing materials that have been provided to us, we found a really high amount of people that have inquired online and come to us directly or walked in off the street into branch saying, what's the zero deposit option? I don't know anything about it. And we've been able to really explain it to them, and it's been a really valuable tool for us to then encourage viewing activity and interest on properties. As an agent in this area selected by zero deposit, it meant that we were then able to go up against our competition and offer this as a really good option when we're being instructed on new business. We can reinforce that message to clients to say not every agent is given the opportunity to do so. It is only agents who are working, to professional high standards that have been given this opportunity. So it's a real point of difference for us, and again, great for us to get instructions on new business. We were particularly attracted to zero deposit because of the partnership they have with the TDS, and as a TDS member, for us it was really important to give our landlords that reassurance that they would have the same protection as they would have done with a normal cash deposit. Since we've launched, landlords have been really positive with the feedback they've given us, and they think it's a really good idea for us to be able to offer this as an option to our tenants, as they don't see it being any kind of difference to having a cash deposit, and we can give them the assurance that it protects them in exactly the same way. I genuinely feel that by us being able to offer the zero deposit option to tenants, it's a way for them to access renting through a reputable agent, as opposed to maybe going direct to a landlord, which they may have done in the past for fear of having to pay this larger deposit up front, and hopefully that will protect people from going to rogue agents or rogue landlords in the future. When we're talking to clients about the zero deposit option, we're explaining to them that the tenant still has the same responsibility under the tenancy agreement for damages and dilapidations. There's no difference in the way that it's then assessed at the end of the term, and should there be any dispute or anything like that, it's all adjudicated through the TDS. So it really gives them exactly the same assurance. There's no reason why they should be afraid to go down the zero deposit route instead. Zero deposit has given us a point of difference and a way to negotiate tenancies whereby if people are not having to pay a large deposit in advance, we might be able to then make their offer more attractive to a landlord with a slightly increased rent. This will then mean that they could potentially afford a better property or a bigger property than they had considered before. We've actually got first-hand experience of one of our team members who was looking for a property to rent herself, and being sort of, a young person, young professional in London, didn't necessarily have access to raise the deposit herself. When we started offering it, she was the first person who immediately said, I want to rent through through our own agency, and also I want to use the zero deposit, and she was the first person to use it for us, and she found it an absolutely fantastic way for her to move into her own property on her own and to be able to get started without having this financial obstacle. Northfields are really excited to be partnered with Zero Deposit, and as these products become more and more emergent in the marketplace, we feel that they are going to be the market leader through the processes and the simplicity of the product that they offer, but also it's a win for not only ourselves but for our landlords and for our tenants.